Good morning students. This is 12th standard botany video class, video 13. In this video, we are going to see the lesson Asexual and Sexual Reproduction in Plants. Dear students, in this lesson, we have already learnt about certain topics, that is asexual reproduction, sexual reproduction, male reproductive organ, microsporogenesis, female reproductive organ, megasporogenesis, then pollination, two types of pollination, there is self-pollination and cross-pollination, different methods of self-pollination and cross-pollination. Today, in this video, we are going to see the advantages and disadvantages of pollination. Both self-pollination and cross-pollination, which are showing advantages and disadvantages. And also we are going to see the topic fertilization. So before, we have seen male gametophyte, female gametophyte, male gamete and a female gamete. Male gamete is the pollen grain, female gamete is the ovule. So both of them having the haploid nucleus. Both the haploid nucleus are combined together to form a diploid zygote. That process is called fertilization. The fertilization is the another important process which is taken place in the plants, followed by pollination process. This is also one of the stages which is occur in the pre-fertilization event. So before pre-fertilization events, the pollination is taken place. Now we are going to see the topic fertilization. That is the next stages of sexual reproduction in higher plants. The first stage is pre-fertilization stages. Now we are entering into the fertilization changes. Dear students, we are going to see the outline chapter of this lesson: asexual reproduction, vegetative reproduction, sexual reproduction, pre-fertilization structure and event. Now we are going to start the topic fertilization. Dear students, this is the pollination flow chart. We have already seen in the previous video class. Pollination means transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of a same flower or different flower of the same species. This pollination is divided into two types. One is self-pollination, another one is the cross-pollination. Self-pollination, otherwise named as autogamy. Cross-pollination is named as xenogamy or allogamy. Self-pollination occurs in bisexual flowers. No need of external agent. And also, this pollination which is occur in the bisexual flowers. But cross-pollination is occur in the unisexual flowers. It requires certain external agents to transfer the pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of a flower. So these agencies are divided into two types. One is abiotic agencies, another one is the biotic agencies. Abiotic agencies are wind and water. Biotic agencies are animals and insects. Animals type of pollination is named as zoophily. Insects pollination is named as entomophily. Out of this animal pollination, insect pollination is well adapted to the angiospermic plant. And also how the plants which are showing self-pollination and cross-pollination, those methods and all we have seen in the previous video class. Not only that, the different mechanism of cross-pollination is also we have seen. How certain plants which are showing cross-pollination, that is lever mechanism, translator mechanism, and also trap mechanism. So these are all the three important mechanisms which is seen in Salvia plant, Calotropis, and also Aristolochia plants. Today we are going to see the advantage and the disadvantages of self-pollination and cross-pollination. Dear students, this is the advantages of self-pollination. So self-pollination is taken place in the bisexual flowers. We already learned this point. The another advantage is if the member of the species are uncommon, that means they are not evenly distributed in all the spaces, that is said to be uncommon. And also these plant species are separated by large distances. So in those plants, self-pollination is adapted. That is, self-pollination is possible. Another one, if the cross-pollination fails in some other plants, self-pollination is taken place and also prevent the extinction of certain species. Extinction means to destroy. That is said to be extinction of certain species. That is another advantage. So these are all the three different advantages of self-pollination. It is occur in almost bisexual flowers. Certain uncommon species, the species are separated by large distance. In those plants, self-pollination is possible. If cross-pollination is failed in some plants, self-pollination is taken place to prevent the extinction of certain species. That is the advantages of self-pollination. Disadvantages of self-pollination is continuous self-pollination make the plant's generation very weaker. So continuously, generation after generation, the self-pollination is taken place means the next generation or progeny or gametes which are produced in weaker section, not in a strong one. That means the plants which are produced by self-pollination for several generations, they produced plants with a disease-causing plant. They yield less number of crops. Then insects and pests also attacked by the plants. That is said to be weaker progeny or generation or gametes. Second disadvantage is there is no new species we can able to produce with the help of self-pollination. That means the same kind of flower or a plant only produced in the next generation. There is no hybrid variety. That is said to be there is no chances of producing new species and varieties are meager. This is said to be self-pollination advantages and disadvantages. Next one, advantages of cross-pollination. Dear students, this advantage is opposite to the self-pollination. First point is they are producing healthier progeny or offsprings. Second one, The pollen germination is much better than the self-pollination. New varieties are produced. The plants which can adapt any kind of environmental changes. This is the advantages of cross-pollination. So cross-pollination is also showing disadvantages. So these plants required external agencies such as wind, water and animals, so that this process is uncertain. It is possible or not. That it's said to be uncertain. Then various devices have to be adapted to attract the pollinating agents. That means size of the flower, color of the flower, producing sweet smell, and also nectar secreting gland. So this all the different adaptive character should be produced by the flower which is present in the plant pots. That is not possible to attract the animals for pollination. So this is the disadvantage of cross-pollination. Dear students, advantage and disadvantages of cross-pollination and self-pollination is important 3-mark question. So this question you already learnt in 10th standard. So here also this is very much important for 3-mark question. The another important question, 5-mark question is significance of pollination. Not only 5 marks, it will come for 2 marks and 3-mark question also. What is the significance of pollination? That is commonly advantage or uses of pollination. Importance of pollination. Pollination is the important process which occurs before the fertilization process. That is said to be prerequisite process of fertilization. This fertilization process helps in the formation of fruits and seeds. This process, that is pollination process, brings the gametes closer, that is male gametes and the female gametes closer for the process of fertilization. So cross-pollination introduces different variety of species due to the mixing of different genes, that is hybrid variety. So this cross-pollinated plant is also very much adapted to the different environmental situation, which leads to or result in the newly formed species, that is said to be speciation. So this are all the different significance of pollination. Dear students, kindly note down in your classwork notebook or textbook. It is very important 3-mark question and a 2-mark question. It is the first process for fertilization. Fertilization helps in formation of fruits and seeds. It makes the gametes to closer for fertilization process. It produces variety of species due to the mixing of different genes and helps the plants to adapt in a different environment and leads to speciation or result in the species group in the particular environment. That is said to be significance of pollination. Dear students, up to this, the pollination process is over. That is, pre-fertilization events are over. Now, we are entering into the another stage of sexual reproduction, that is fertilization. See the diagram and the points. So, this is the introductory part of fertilization. What is fertilization? Fusion of male gametes and the female gametes, which is haploid, to form a diploid zygote. That process is called fertilization. See the diagram which are showing how fertilization occur within the ovary. So at the top, they are having the pollen grains which is landed on the stigma of the gynoecium. So this pollen grains, once it is landed on the stigma of a female gamete or female sex organ or gynoecium, it germinates and produce the pollen tube, and through the style of the gynoecium, this pollen grain with the tube, inside the pollen tube they are having the male gametes which is produced from the generative cell. So these two male gametes are passed through the pollen tube and they are entered into the ovary via micropylar region, and it is entered into the embryo sac and fuses with the egg or ova which is present in the micropylar region and form the diploid zygote. Out of this, two male gametes, one male gamete only joined with the egg or ova, another one which is fuses to the polar nuclei which is present at the center or secondary nuclei, which forming another fertilization. That fusion is called triple fusion. Due to the double fertilization or triple fusion, it forms the triploid embryo sac within the ovary. So this is the process which is taken place in the fertilization. See the first point, pollen grains landed on the stigma, germinate and grows down through the style and fertilizes the egg. Fertilized ovules afterwards developed into, this the post-fertilization changes, modified into seeds. The pistil, that is gynoecium, enlarges and modified into ovary. That is what is, fruit. Ovary part of the gynoecium only, which is modified into fruit. And to protect the ovary. So this and all you already studied in 10th standard. So once again we recall it, how fertilization is occur in the flowering plants. Now we are going to see in a detailed manner of fertilization process. Dear students, this is the fertilization process. Fusion of male and female gamete is called fertilization. It is an important 2-mark question. In angiospermic fertilization, two fertilization is taken place. So the type of the angiospermic fertilization is double fertilization process. That's why I told you, first one male gamete fuses with the egg, that is the first fertilization. Another male gamete fuses with the secondary nuclei or polar nuclei, which forms the triple fusion, that is said to be double fertilization. So the angiospermic type of fertilization is double type fertilization. See the diagram. This is the structure of gynoecium. At the base, a bulged portion is ovary. A small stem-like portion is called style. At the tip only stigma, where the pollen grains are landed. Once the pollen grains are landed on the stigma, they germinate to produce the pollen tube. Through the pollen tube only, the male gametes are entering into the ovary via micropylar region. In the micropylar region only, they are having the egg apparatus. So one of the male gamete is fuses with the female gamete to form the diploid nucleus. Other one which is fuses with the polar nuclei which is present at the center. So this one only we have seen in the previous diagram in this video. Now we are going to see what are all the events which is taken place in the fertilization. Dear students, in this angiospermic fertilization, double fertilizations are taken place. So these fertilization processes are taken place in different stages. The first one is the germination of pollen tube in the stigma region. That is the first point. Dear students, in your book it's given in the form of paragraph, but you have to write it in the form of points. It's an important book back question. So first one, pollen tube germination in the stigma region is the first stage. Germination of pollen into pollen tube in the stigma region. Second one, growth of pollen tube in the style. Then next one, direction of the pollen tube towards the micropylar region of the ovule. Next one, entry of the pollen tube into the synergids of the embryo sac. That means in the micropylar region only we are having the embryo sac. At the center they are having egg nucleus. On either side of the egg nucleus we are having the synergids. We have already seen the structure of an embryo sac. Okay. Then discharge of the male gametes, that is through the synergids only they are liberating the male gametes. Then syngamy, what is that one? Fusion of male gametes and the female gamete, it's taken place. That is said to be fertilization or syngamy. And the triple fusion, that is another male gamete fuses with the secondary nuclei. That is said to be triple fusion. So these are all the different events which is taken place in the fertilization process. After that, they are having another process, it's said to be pollen pistil interaction. What is pollen pistil interaction? Once the pollen grains are deposited on the tip of the stigma, it germinates and produce the pollen tube. So this pollen tube is entry into the ovule. That is said to be pollen pistil interaction. So pistil means what is that one? The individual one of the gynoecium is called a pistil. We have already seen in the previous video class. So how pistil and the pollen grains which are interact each other, that process is called pollen pistil interaction. So simply we can able to say that one, the pollen which is landed on the stigma germinate, produce an pollen tube. This pollen tube, how it is enter into the ovule, that interaction is called a pollen pistil interaction. So this important is this process is very dynamic process. How the stigma which is recognize the pollen grains. Dear students, that word is very much important. That means many pollen grains are landed on the stigma, but certain pollen grains only allows to germinate by the stigma. That is said to be recognition of pollen grains to germinate and also further growth development. So this is said to be the different stages of or events of fertilization. Dear students, see the diagram. This is the stigma of the gynoecium. At the tip of the stigma, many pollen grains are landed. See some of them germinating the pollen tubes. All the pollen grains are not allowed to enter into the ovary. Only one pollen grain which is entering into the style region and reaches the micropylar region of the embryo sac, and through the synergids it is entering into the embryo. So dear students, this is said to be the pollen pistil interaction. That means the stigma does not allow all the pollen grains to enter into the ovary and fertilize the eggs. Only few pollen grains is recognized by the stigma, only allows to enter into the ovary and fuses with the egg. That process is called a pollen pistil interaction. This event is very, very important for the fertilization process. Dear students, next topic is pollen on the stigma. Dear students, now only I told you many pollen grains fall on the receptive stigma, but all of them do not germinate and bring out for fertilization. So only few of the pollen grains are recognized by the stigma and allow them to germinate and pass through the style and enter into the micropylar region and fertilize the egg. The receptive surface of the stigma receives the pollen grains. That means how it will be landing on the stigma. How the stigma which allows the pollen grains to enter into the ovary. That is said to be pollen on the stigma. So each stigma which are having the receptive region to receive the pollen. If the pollen has the capacity to germinate, the germinated pollen grains form the pollen tube. The formation of the pollen tube is facilitated by the stigma, which contains the fluid. Stigma with the fluid is called wet stigma. Another one, dry stigma, is named as pellicle. That means the pollen grains, once it produces the pollen tube by the process called germination, the germinated pollen tube is entered into the ovary due to the activity of stigmatic process. That is, the stigma which produces the fluid is called a wet stigma. Another one is the dry stigma, named as pellicle. These two, that is wet stigma and dry stigma only, decide the incompatibility and compatibility of the pollen through recognition and rejection protein reaction. So incompatibility means unable to fertilize the egg. Compatibility means it germinate and enter into the ovule via micropyle and fertilize the egg. That is said to be compatibility of the pollen through recognition. That means the stigma which recognize the pollen tube for fertilization process, or the stigma which reject the pollen grains. That is said to be recognition, rejection, protein reaction taken place between the pollen and the surface of the stigma. So these two surface only allows the pollen grains for the fertilization process. One is the wet stigma, another one is the dry stigma. Sexual incompatibility we already seen in the different mechanism of cell pollination and also cross pollination. Some of the plants which are showing self-incompatibility, that is, the pollen grains unable to germinate the pollen tube. So that is said to be sexual incompatibility. Also occur in different species. That is said to be interspecific fertilization process, or between the members of the same species. Inter means what is that one? Same species means intraspecific. Interspecific means different species. Same genus but different species. That is said to be interspecific. Intraspecific means within the same species. That type of recognition and rejection protein reaction is also taken place to make the plants to incompatibility or compatibility process. Sometimes incompatibility process is taken place within the species, that is intraspecific, or different species, that is said to be interspecific. So the first change in the pollen grain is once the pollen is entered into the stigma region, it lands on the stigma, is the hydration process. Then after that, the pollen wall, which contains several proteins, that one also we have studied in the previous video class, sporopollenin, pollen kit, and also several protein substances also produced in the outer surface of the pollen wall. So that is said to be pollen wall, which is released on the surface of the stigma. At the time the pollen grains are germinated, the entire content of the pollen grains, which is released into the tube formed by the tube nucleus, the entire growth is taken place except the tip region of the pollen tube. All the cytoplasmic content of the pollen grains are moved towards the tip region except the tip part. That means they grow towards the tip of the pollen grains, but except the tip region. Except the tip region, the remaining part of the pollen tube is occupied by a large vacuole. Due to the formation of vacuole, the tip region is cut off from the vacuole by a region is called callose plug. The extreme tip of the pollen tube, modified into hemispherical shape and which is very transparent, we can able to see under the microscope. This is called a cap block. Dear students, kindly note out down is the important 2-mark question. What is cap block? So the entire content of the pollen grains, including cytoplasm, move towards the tip of the pollen grains. They are accumulated towards the pollen tube except the tip of the pollen grain. After that, a large vacuole is formed at the center of the pollen grain. Due to the formation of vacuole, the tip portion of the pollen tube is separated by the substance is called callose plug. After that, this tip region is modified into hemispherical and which is very clear, that is transparent. This one will be viewed under the microscope. This process is called a cap lock. As soon as the cap lock is formed, this cap lock is disappear or disintegrate. The growth of the pollen tube is also stopped. This is said to be the pollen on the stigma. Dear students, I hope have you all understood what is fertilization, events of the fertilization, how pollen which is accepted or rejected by the stigma, how the pollen tube which is enter into the ovary, everything is taken place in different events. That and all we will see in the next video class. I hope have you all understood the events of fertilization and pollens on the stigma. Dear students, remaining we will see in the next video class. God bless you. All the best children.